My beloved ones, I'm Algimantas. I live in Lithuania, in the capital city of the country, Vilnius. Tonight I want to tell you how to suppress stress, fear, how to have the upper hand over fear. Because psychologists and psychiatrists do acknowledge that fear is a powerful weapon within man and against man. But how to surpass it, how to win over fear, they cannot tell you the right, correct path, correct way out of the situation. And stress and fear, begin to dominate humanity. In different parts of the planet, people are fear-stricken. Those who are in business, they have enormous fear that their company would flourish. And if something goes wrong, they begin to experience ever-growing enormous fear within. If man today is healthy, he feels some anxiety. He feels quite often fear that something might happen to his health condition or to his family members if he's married and has children. If he is in some difficult situation, like financial difficult situation, he feels stress and fear, how to just meet both ends together in everyday life situations. So in general, fear is such an enormous power, and it is not what you might realize and sense on one's consciousness level. But fear has immense power in one's subconsciousness, that man have any suspicion that such a enormous power is within subconsciousness. Well, people even claim that fear is necessary. It stimulates people to look for certain solutions in critical conditions. And even fear that helps to preserve one's life in some critical conditions. But actually, it is not right, it is not correct to think this way. Fear should not exist in man's life at all. It is not necessary because fear does not help. It does not help focus one's attention and just concentrate on something that might help you find a certain way out of a critical condition of difficult situation. Fear is ruining power. It's not stimulating and giving impetus to one's brain. It's a misleading understanding because a creative power is love. If you are in love, you are actually a creative person, a creative personality, and you feel such a elevation power within that you can just perform any job. Any job brings you happiness once you are in love. It's like an additional stimulation, additional impact into one's energy charge. While fear, just on the contrary, it's wearing out all people. They cannot live in fear for long. They get weird with fear. Therefore, fear is energy devouring power. It's completely wearing people out. How to fight fear? There is only one path, one way out of fear. Just grab with both hands the source and center of love. And who's the source and center of love? There is only one source and center of love. He is creator of the whole of creation. He is our Father and Mother, eternal Father and eternal Mother. Creator is made up of 4 personalities. The first source and center, the second source and center, the third source and center, and the aggregate universal source and center. But all these sources and centers, they are all eternal, they are without beginning and without end. And creation is within their palms, in their arms. Therefore, there is no life, no light beyond Creator's embrace, grasp. So, Creator is emitting His love vibrations as the most loving Father and Mother. So that's why I call Creator in 4 personalities united spiritually on an absolute level in paradise, in their dwelling abode where their energy is focused, and from which center energy is being distributed throughout space into the universe. So I call Creator as our Father, as our eternal Mother, as our infinite Mother, and as our aggregate Father and Mother. I am. So all these 4 personalities make up one collective Creator. And this collective Creator is the source and center of love. And it sends, He sends, or they send their representative into our mind, their fragment, and this fragment is being called thought adjuster. And he's a living bridge between Creator and every human being on our planet and on other planets. So it's like a living connection to Creator Himself. And He's channeling His love vibrations into our mind, into our subconsciousness. And once we begin to feel love vibrations on our consciousness level, it means that we sincerely opened up to Creator, and now we are drinking His vibrations. And these vibrations are real. And it is possible to discover Creator within, in reality. And once we do it, we begin to experience sensations, sensations of love, sensations of peace within us, of bliss within us. And fear is diminishing. And if we keep a sincere community with a sincere communion with Creator, after some time we begin to feel that we do not experience fear anymore, while we didn't do any particular exercising, psychological exercising or hypnotical experiencing some exercises. But while communing with Creator, we're being filled up with Creator's living vibrations of love. And this is the most magnificent antidote of fear. And from fear, this is absolutely unknown to psychologists, to psychiatrists, to doctors. Of course, they speak about fear, but they do not know the source and center of love. They do know that love does exist, but it is not a must that every doctor, every psychiatrist, every psychologist might experience the phenomenon of love within. They might know love only from a theoretical vantage point, but they might be in their sphere as good specialists, up to a certain level, good specialists, who has never experienced love. And they would consider themselves good specialists in the field, but in reality, they are not, because they cannot operate on a qualified level if they do not experience love, if they do not have a direct communion with Creator, the source and center of love. And this is the only way to surpass and to suppress one's fear. And especially fear which we are not yet aware of its existence within our subconsciousness. Because the fear which is now in our subconsciousness, it does not spring up to the consciousness level until certain outer conditions provoke this fear to reach our subconsciousness. When we find ourselves in some critical material conditions, in some intellectual ambience that is affecting us, that is trying to exercise certain pressure on us, all of a sudden we might experience that much of fear we had no idea about its existence within our subconsciousness. But now we might be fear-stricken, and we might even experience something similar to paralysis, depression. We give in struggling for some pursuits of light, goodness, truth, mercy. So in this case, fear might stop us being resolute and bold in solving different problems. So therefore, just to fight fear, we have the only way out, which is effective, because psychologists, psychiatrists offer different methods, but they are in general futile, because people who have depression, they are suggested by doctors, by psychiatrists, just use pills, use chemicals, and they turn into drug addicts. They cannot live anymore without medicine. So being hostage to medicine, it's addiction. It's like drug addicts, even though they consider to be medicine addicted. But all the same, they are not free persons. They are not free from fear. And they, in a way, add one additional fear, because they begin to fear that without drugs, without medicine, they are helpless. They cannot survive without medicine, and they will fall into the pit of depression again. So they begin to trust medicine rather than Creator. Or they don't even think about Creator's existence, who is the only Savior and liberator from fear. But they need to have this information. They need to know about Creator, and that Creator himself is the only personality, the only person who can liberate them from fear. And not only liberate, but fill you up with love, so that you would begin to feel the sensation of love as a real feeling within you, a deep feeling within you, which brings happiness, bliss, peace within your personality. And it is wonderful to experience this sensation, so that you desire to prolong the sensation as long as possible. And when you begin to feel that it's diminishing, you apply to the source and center of love, to Creator, by your sincere living communion. You simply address Creator as your beloved Father and beloved Mother. And all of a sudden you experience an overflow of love within. And this state of your consciousness is ever deepening, so that your personality identity begins to drink this living water, this living love. And fear, well, turns into a very rare guest on a subconscious level of your personality. And after some time, you realize that you are free from fear, without having used any medicine at all. So it is Creator who is the best psychiatrist, the best psychologist, the best doctor within, and he is treating you with love, which is also real energy vibrations. And you can experience these vibrations within. So that's why I would recommend you this only guaranteed path to liberate you from fear. And then all of a sudden, you begin to feel freedom, freedom from fear. And that is a big, big burden removed off your shoulders. And you begin to breathe freely. And your breathing is light, easy. You begin to enjoy your breathing, and you begin to enjoy your life. And the mode of your living is based on Creator's leading from within. You begin to lean upon His leading from within. And Creator's leading does not provide any fear, but it is enormously enwrapping you, or wrapping you up in love, in love vibrations. Love vibrations are ceaselessly being poured upon you by the source and center of love, by Creator. So just pay attention to my words, and you will be able to test them on your practical side, in your real life. If you are fear-stricken, if you have some anxiety, just express all these feelings, all these emotions. They are not feelings, they are emotions. Feelings are which are sensations coming from Creator Himself, like mercy, like goodness, like beauty, like love, like righteousness. While jealousy, anger, hatred, they are not feelings, they are emotions. And fear including. So you can get rid of all of them by communing with Creator. Just address Creator in your sincere words. Words do not matter. The state of your consciousness that matters. It has to be sincere. You have to speak out whatever you are afraid of. Just pour out this fear to Creator in your living communion with Him. Don't be afraid of Creator. Just address directly Him and pour out all your worries, anxieties, sorrows, all your pain, and you will begin to feel sensations of lightness. And after some time, you will be free from fear if you sincerely and consistently address Creator with your problems, with the issues that you cannot find any clue to solve them. And that makes you fear-stricken, especially in certain circumstances when time is pressing upon you. So trust me because I know what I speak of.